gon' tune in cause it's showtime. Go ahead and call the gang up for the one time. Rap food rhyme, got them on the line. And my life's still great, I'm doing just fine. Hands up.
But I do want to move on to our next topic. Staying on the topic of games, we did get some more game showcases this past couple weeks. We got Summer Game Fest, the Xbox 2023 Showcase, and Ubisoft Forward 2023. Now, there are some highlights that I do want to discuss, some big things. We got the Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay. We got a trailer for The Witcher 3. And we also got a release date for Spider-Man 2 with the news that Venom won't be Eddie Brock. So they're straying away from the comic book OG Venom. But before we touch on those three, there were some other games that were showcased at these gaming showcases. So what stuck out to you guys?
I know you saw your Alan Wake, Ralph.
Yeah, did you watch the gameplay for that?
Yeah, I did.
How'd you feel about it?
The movement, I loved it. It's a little bit more fluid. I don't know if y'all saw the side-to-side comparison between Alan walking through like by stairs versus him like bumping into like let me get myself back together. I mean, that's pretty much what he did. That's what he did.
He said,
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's an improvement. It's an improvement.
That's what stuck out. I ain't mad at you.
But no, like that was just one of the things I noticed. The flashlight has gotten an update. At least on Alan Wake, the first game, you would have to swap. And so I'm interested to see if Alan will still have that ability to just swap between a gun and a flashlight, or are they gonna allow him to hold both? Like the police officer did. Except, she's a police officer already trained to do that. But I'm interested to see how they expand upon the first story. I'm very interested to see how is this going to tie into, like going down the line. Is this going to be, is there going to be another game afterwards? Is this going to be, the end of Alan Wake, or I would assume. My assumption is they're going to continue on, probably make another one to give it a trilogy kind of feel, just to finish it. But,
okay.
I mean, I enjoy it. It still has the same eerie feeling. Okay. I definitely, that jump scare with that deer man running through that wall. Yeah.
That was cold.
Yeah.
They had to let y'all know the spooky shit is still here.
Yeah. Man.
But, I mean, that's my lookout game. I'm definitely getting it.
Okay.
I already pre-ordered it.
What about you, Ryan?
I'm gonna be controversial. For all of these showcases, Xbox won for the first time in forever. For the first time in a long time, Xbox won these showcases because we're finally starting to see those 15 studios, including Bethesda, that Microsoft bought, and their games are coming out. Fable, which is an old fantasy RPG that Xbox had, finally coming back. Super excited for that. Avowed, which they showed one teaser trailer some years ago, looks phenomenal. Bright colors, and it's taking place in another game's universe I didn't even know about. Payday 3 looks solid. I'm glad they showed it off. But Starfield, y'all know I don't like sci-fi. Y'all know fantasy is my niche. I normally stem away from sci-fi. But that 45-minute, hour-long direct where you can fly through space, customize your ship, the gunplay looks solid, the companion system, the way you can recruit people to your spaceship, all the different modifications, the different worlds, it looked like Bethesda's back. And super excited for that. All the games I just named, they already pre-ordered on Amazon.
I definitely saw multiple. I think I would have to agree with you as far as Xbox's showcase, because there was multiple. The amount of highlights that came out for PlayStation versus Xbox had way more highlights.
Yeah. And these are Microsoft exclusives too. Like, looking really, really good. PlayStation, obviously we talked about PlayStation. I ain't going to go into Final Fantasy. I'm not going to talk about Assassin's Creed. You already know I'm playing.
Hey, but they gameplay though.
That gameplay looked good.
It's back to the
That
OG.
that gameplay though
You think it's
was
gonna pull you over?
it might that gameplay was not, because I have played a little bit of Assassin's Creed. I just haven't finished the game, but there were elements that I saw playing an older version in this new one, and then the way that they enhanced it, like that feature where you could like, you remember it was like the mission where he was on the little thing and he
He summoned them
selected
little
like 3
spirits
people.
and he like fought through all
Yeah.
3 of them. That was fire. Now fire. Now fire.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
It was cold, bro. Even the little bird feature, like they
Oh, I wanted to bring that. Is that something new that they did?
the,
The animals?
yes. So around the time they made their last trilogy of Odyssey and all of them, they made it to where you could use the bird as like a recon drone. But they never had it to where, oh, people can see and they'll shoot them down, and that plays into the difficulty of the game. They never did that before. I was like, that's cold. That's cold.
Hey,
I ain't
that
want a
game.
fanboy. That's cold.
I wanted to bring up the game. I just wanted to bring up the gameplay because it looked nice.
It did.
Join the club. They said they back to the basics, bro, and they showing out. Them Ubisoft, y'all look like y'all showing out. But I think that's most of it. X Defiant looked kind of good, like a decent shooter. Most shooters ain't been catching my eye lately, so I might check X Defiant out as well.
Okay.
And Star Wars Outlaws look like it's an Avatar.
It
Look
looked-
like some games I should keep my eyes on.
Star Wars Outlaws looked okay to me. It looked okay. Avatar, I'm not a big Avatar fan, but then even just watching like the trailer, I was like, I'm not gonna be into this.
I wouldn't pay full price for it.
The sceneries, like the sceneries or whatever, the storyline looks compelling, like the things that you have to do. But I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be really into this game.
Nah.
Yeah.
Avatar, I had a bit of a feeling that they were going to go the video game route for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with how much time they had between making movies. I know they was working on stuff in the background, and this is what they was working on. Which is
I
why
think
we
they
didn't
announced
get
it a
another
while
Avatar
back though,
movie.
Ralph.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we didn't get another movie because they was also doing that in parallel.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think they're trying to immerse more people into the world of Pandora. Just like because of Ralph said, like the movies are so spaced out. Like, okay, we watched this movie, and then 10 years later, I don't remember what happened.
Exactly.
I don't know. I haven't heard, because they have a Pandora area in Animal Kingdom, but I haven't really been seeing a lot of buzz on that. So the game had to be the next step.
It feels. I don't want to say this. Maybe we need to talk to some real Avatar fans, but it feels kind of forced. Like for everybody to say like Avatar, the Blue People Avatar is like this big brand, super huge. Everybody's excited for the movie. I'm not saying people ain't excited, but it seems like it's blown out of proportion. Like this ain't like the best thing since sliced bread. At least I'm not seeing people say that.
It looked boring to me.
Yeah. Like I'm not seeing real people love this franchise.
Same.
Like anybody y'all follow that's not IGN, GameSpot, CNET, some big company.
I just don't see people talk about Avatar on the daily unless it's Aang and them.
Yeah.
if it's not Aang and them, Aang and them. I do not see the Blue People on my TL. I don't.
I want to meet an Avatar fan. Like I really want to meet a fan and be like, do y'all? Because I haven't seen them. I have not seen them, bro.
I haven't seen them. The game just seemed like something that, we should make a game, and like the concept is there. It's just it wasn't compelling. When I was watching that trailer, it was not compelling to me.
The trailer wasn't really compelling, but I was a fan of the first movie, and I felt like the first movie did good, especially during the time that it came out. It did really good. They told a complete story, and I didn't see a need for the second. Hence, I haven't seen the second at all. And I was like, okay, well, they're making another movie. Just like, okay, they're making a video game. I don't too much care. It's like they didn't give me enough to care for it yet. It
Yeah.
might happen down the
Yeah.
line, maybe if they start to make more movies and things start to make sense as to pushing the story forward. And so right now, it just kind of feels like they're doing things to kind of just maintain their relevancy for something.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
if the movie releases were closer together to where, we're getting that back to back content, I think the game would have made more sense. Or as Ryan put it wouldn't have felt as forced.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, say for instance, instead of waiting 10 years to hear back about anything for Avatar, maybe give us a game in between that time to kind of carry your name through. See
Yeah.
how that do.
That's true because the theme part I really didn't hear anything about the Pandora portion until they announced the second movie. And then that was like, oh, along with this, we are putting Pandora in Animal Kingdom. And I was like, maybe if you guys would have did that when the first movie came out and put something in there for
Yeah.
Animal Kingdom, then it would have been something that we could continue to experience until you guys made the next movie. And like Ralph said, if you guys would have threw a game in between there, then yeah, we have that continued Avatar content to feed on until you guys put out this movie.
Yeah.
Cause like y'all,
Cause
they're not really like expanding the franchise. Like I see that they want to be like the next Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, or whatever franchise. Like I see that they want to do that, but y'all aren't bringing us into the universe. Like, are there any extra books, any short series, like competition to keep the consumer's eyes? Like, there's a lot of entertainment properties out there. It like you making movies. Nobody's finna beat MCU in real life. Nobody. Not right now. Not in the next 5-10 years, really. And like y'all aren't really building a community. Y'all, it's too spaced out. Y'all ain't giving
Yeah,
us nothing to cling to.
I would definitely agree with that.
their downfall, well, not I wouldn't even say downfall because they're trying to make it back to where they were, but that hiatus for 10 years really cost them. That's just
Mm-hmm.
like a
That's true.
content creator not doing anything for a year and they've been consistent for a while. All your content will pretty much start to lose its algorithm. It will be out of the algorithm at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yeah.
have to pretty much restart. So I guess they're trying to restart where they believe they dropped the ball. And maybe it's a little bit too late, maybe it's not.
I think the game would have served better if it was VR. Because we complained about how Horizon wasn't really what we thought it was. I think the Avatar, just because of the scenery, like if I give Avatar anything, the world building
Looks
that they
beautiful.
have is,
It looks good.
it looks spectacular. And I think they really should have hopped on the VR wave with it.
I feel like they should have done a couple of things because it's like you you got a really interesting sci-fi world, but even with the second movie, like, oh, all the different clans and everything, they really got into it with the video game. This is something I feel like I would have been immersed in if y'all took the time to build a real community 10 years ago or even 5 years ago, instead of just saying, oh, we're re-releasing this amazing movie in theaters 7 years, 8 years later. I don't even remember it. You know how many great movies then came out that I want to re-release in theaters? You're not number one. Like, just being real. That's not to be offensive, but just being honest.
Nah, for real. Because
Y'all
they
should have
did
been dropped some books or board games or
a
something.
book, short series or something. You could have did animated content.
They probably have been dropping
Exactly.
books, but I ain't been reading.
I ain't seen them.
They got books?
It's
Isn't Avatar
possible.
based on a book? I would assume it is.
Is it?
I don't know.
Well, because we don't know the answers to these questions, we gonna move on. Cause
Yeah, what games got you, Fu?
I really, like I said, Star Wars Outlaws was okay. Payday 3 looked interesting. I'm not a real big, well, Hogwarts Legacy did get me, but I'm not really a big fantasy game. So like the games that you brought up, like Fable, Avowed, they did look good, but that's not my
cup of tea.
Yeah, it's not my
Yeah.
cup of tea. But we do have to talk about this Mortal Kombat 1 gameplay.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Tag
yeah.
Team X-Rays. The
They look
cameo
good.
fighters, actually, because my big thing was how significant the cameo fighters were going to be in the gameplay. They look pretty significant to me. The stages look more realistic. The fatalities are lovely. Katanas, when she had the fan and you turn the dude and she just chop him, man. But that was beautiful. It gave me. I'm excited for the beta.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
The more news, the other news that came out with it is that the Sub-Zero in Mortal Kombat 1 is behind, and Scorpion and Sub-Zero are supposed to be brothers. Very interesting take. Melina and Kitana are twins, and Melina has a disease that makes her get the mouth structure that we're used to. And they kept they kept that creepy ass voice. So I was like, okay. Her moveset look fire too. She whooped Katana ass on that gameplay.
Because he made this universe. Y'all realize that, right? Like, I get that the NetherRealm Studios, we got to make a good video game for the fans. But I'm like, in retrospect, wasn't Liu Kang the good guy? Wasn't he nice and honorable?
But you have to look at what I like about like the changes and what you're about to get into is that Liu Kang has now taken the role of Raiden. And if we remember anything about Raiden, everything he did was questionable.
Yeah.
AF.
Yeah.
So this is just him. This is just him taking on that role and doing these questionable AF choices. And it's like, okay, this is what we do.
And I'm gonna be real.
Liu
Kang might be my main again. In 11, it was Jade, and in X, it was Liu Kang. But his combos, that kick,
Liu Kang looks nice. I'm gonna have to check out Kenshi too. I'm gonna have to check him out. Now the gameplay I was a little bit disappointed in, and hopefully this is just because whatever. I was a little bit disappointed in Scorpion's gameplay, just because Scorpion is my main in 11. He wasn't my main in 10. He was my main in 11, and just looking at his gameplay in 1, it's just like you're not really giving me what I was expecting out of Scorpion. And I don't know if that's on purpose.
Could have been who was playing him as well.
Probably. Because
the Scorpion that they're using is a young Scorpion, right?
Yeah.
True. And
so he might not have all the movesets and everything for it.
That's true. The other point that they brought up is that they don't think this is the undead version, the Hellfire Scorpion. And I was like, okay, y'all making good points. So I do wonder what his moveset is going to look like. But even then, like, the Kenshi we saw in Mortal Kombat X and the Kenshi saw in this gameplay trailer,
raw
levels,
different,
raw
levels. So I think it might have been just the person who was playing as Scorpion, but y'all got to give me some more than what y'all just showed me. All he don't even say get over here. That made me mad. He told some come here. What? Y'all didn't hear him say come here? He don't say get over here. Come here.
Stop. Don't touch me there. These are my no squares. That's what I'm gonna tell him. Like, what? Come here. Ugh. That's creepy.
Oh man. Other announcements that I've been seeing from Ed Boon is that he said there is no crypt in the game. They're gonna have a
Yeah.
different way of doing the unlockables. The combat kids, which contain Cassie Cage, Jackie Briggs, Kung Lao, and Takeda, don't exist yet, which is weird because Takeda is a DLC. But I guess in the story, they don't exist yet. They're not born yet. So I was like, okay, that makes sense. Rumored cameo fighters, at least from what we saw in the gameplay trailers: Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Kung Lao, Sonya Blade, Kano, Jax, Goro, and they're bringing back Striker.
Okay.
And then main roster, I think we've already listed this out before, but just as a reminder, main roster is Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Liu Kang, Raiden, Kung Lao, Kitana, Melina, Kenshi, and Johnny Cage, and then Shang Tsung.
Currently, yeah.
So
Yeah, currently.
I guess the burning question will be, what characters will we like to see? Because they know we know they're gonna do DLC characters.
I think Jade is in the game. I just don't know if she's playable, because I saw a video of so the way they're doing the character selection screen is similar to how they've done Injustice. Most recently Injustice 2. That when you pick their characters, they do this big boom animation where their arms are locking and they say a couple phrases. And there was one with Liu Kang and Katana, and Liu Kang was like, "Hey, you really need to listen to the stuff that Countess Jade is telling you." And Katana wasn't trying to hear all that, but I was like, okay, is Countess Jade referring to JJ? And is she just in the story for SNGs? Or is she going to be on the main roster?
I hope they bring my baby Jade to this game, because Jade showed out in Mortal Kombat 11. And I remember off camera we said Sadell would probably be a good pick, since Kitana and their world is still here now. Think Sadell would be great. In Outworld, I don't know if they bring in Aaron Black. They kind of did him a little dirty in the last game in comparison to X. Earthrealm, I don't know which.
Yeah, I don't know. Because there's so many characters, and it's just going back to the point that this is a reboot. This is the new era. It is possible that we might not get everybody in one. Just based on the story that they're trying to tell, because there is something coming up, a tournament or whatever, where Liu Kang is gathering his champions. And it could be possible that this set of champions that he's choosing for this storyline may not be everybody, or at least our favorites.
They got to put Reptile in there. Reptile's a classic. Ain't he almost in every game?
I don't think he was in 10. Reptile wasn't in 10.
He's in most of them though. Like in terms of,
I think he's in. Was he
in
11?
He was definitely in 10.
I know he's in 9.
He was in 11.
He was in 9.
It might have been. It might be 11, because I don't remember seeing him on the roster on 10. Ermac is on 10.
They could bring back Goro.
Well, they got Goro as a cameo fighter.
What about Shigoro then?
I didn't see anything about that.
Shigoro,
or are you talking about Shiva?
DLC character.
Shigoro.
He said Shigoro.
The dude with the messed up teeth and the spikes coming out his arms. Baraka. You could put Baraka in there.
He was.
I think it just depends.
Made by Shang Tsung, wasn't it?
No, that was a race in Outworld. I thought.
Melina
Melina
was made by Shang Tsung, because he combined the DNA of the Tarkatans, which is what Baraka is, with Katana's DNA, and that's how they ended up making Melina.
Okay.
But I think it really just depends on what the story is, on who we're actually gonna get in this first installment.
Yeah.
Or in this reboot.
Playing the story mode will probably give us a lot of the answers of what's going to be included in this game.
That, and when you brought up about what characters are left, I did see something that in the coming weeks they're about to start putting out character trailers for everybody who's supposed to be on the roster for MK1. So I'm hoping that
Okay.
we may get some people that we didn't
Yeah.
see in the gameplay coming out with these
Yeah.
trailer releases. But what I wanted to ask you, Ralph,
What's up?
is do you think they're gonna turn Behind into Noob?
Yep.
So you
I already knew it.
don't think
I
they're gonna
knew
alter
it.
the story of
I
Noob and make
knew
a
it.
new Noob?
I knew it. Now, they might. So, I will agree with both of y'all. Except it all depends on what route they want to go down. They can either turn Behind into Noob and bring in somebody else to kind of pick up as Jesus. Why am I?
Or
why
the
am I
second they
having
bring
a
up the
brain
second
fart?
Sub-Zero, is he gonna be in this new
Yeah.
era?
So it's all questionable. Now that the world is restarted, anything is possible pretty much. Anything that we can imagine is pretty much possible.
Mhm.
They could have it to where instead of Behind having it, Scorpion turns something similar to that.
I think they gotta at some point, just like me wanting to see Behind turn into Noob, they have to give me Hellfire
Yeah.
Scorpion. At some point in this storyline, I gotta
But-
get Hellfire Scorpion.
And I feel like that's just going to be down the line.
But it's
kind of
interesting
thing,
what they
though.
might do
Yeah.
with the Lin Kuei in general, because if Scorpion is the brother of Sub-Zero, so is he a Lin Kuei or is he a Shirai Yu?
Yeah, he got
So-
it on
He should be a
his.
Lin Kuei.
He has the Lin Kuei
So if he's Lin
badge
Kuei,
on
I
his
also want to
uniform.
know about the other Lin Kuei assassins. Like, what about Smoke? Are Sector and Cyrax, are they gonna be robots this time around? Or are they gonna be in their
Cyrax,
original bodies? Smoke was cold.
Smoke was cold.
Smoke was
Smoke was
cold.
cold.
Smoke was cold.
Look.
I guess it just depends on how Liu Kang reimagined the Lin Kuei.
Yeah. I mean,
'Cause
it
making
seems like a lot of
Scorpion-
the answers will only come once we play the game.
True, because if Scorpion is now Lin Kuei, that goes back to Ralph's thing. Is the Shirai
That do
even
matter.
a thing?
Because the Shirai Yu also had their own fighting style, but the Lin Kuei used a lot of different jutsus and everything, like with the smoke, the ice, and everything, which could allude to why Scorpion could be good with fire, because they all have their different jutsus and abilities and stuff, which would be cool.
Right.
I want to see what other Lin Kuei assassins they bring before I determine how Noob Saibot could come about, because I don't know.
I just know
I wouldn't mind seeing.
I don't know. I don't know if he's gonna be in one.
If he's not there and Smoke is there,
I know.
And probably Cyrex or Sector are reimagined, I wouldn't be upset.
Even if he's not a main character in the game,
It would
bring him as a cameo character. Give me him as a cameo.
It would just depend on how the villains are reimagined too, because part of Noob's makeup is Quan Chi. We haven't heard anything about him either.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I just know that the gameplay is fire. There's still a lot of questions, but the gameplay is fire.
That's why I don't even want to touch the beta. Like, beta look cool. I was telling Foop this off camera. I don't even want to touch it. I want the full experience of the game drop. That's when I'm going to play it. That's when I'm going to figure out what's going on here.
I want to play the beta. I hope they make the beta as small as possible.
Yeah.
That even with playing this beta, we still don't have. We can make assumptions, but we don't have definite answers.
Right.
About how this story is gonna go.
It look good though.
I'll be ready for the drop.
It look good. Me too.
I already pre-ordered it.
My pre-order list long on Amazon right now, y'all.
It's already. I just pre-ordered Spider-Man 2 yesterday.
Now.
It's like it's up.
Now. Hold on. Let me break them.
It's up.
I gotta pre-order it
in the middle of the episode.
That's so crazy. But
that's wild.
To touch a little bit on Spider-Man 2, and then we can move on to our last topic. So the fact that they said that Venom won't be Eddie Brock is opening the door that they are coming up with a new origin story for how Venom is going to manifest in Spider-Man. How do you guys feel about that? Based on what we've already seen from the past 2 Spider-Man games.
You go first.
I feel like Venom is still going to be. I feel like Venom is still going to be lab created, except the attachment to one person for him getting his powers is not going to be, the height of what he can do. He can probably just control himself to make this form of Venom of what we know now, kind of thing.
Well, he doesn't make himself. He has to have a host. His
No,
host.
that's on.
You're saying that they might change it to where he doesn't need one?
Yeah.
I'm not too attached to the character Eddie Brock as I am just to the idea of a symbiote coming over and going wild. So as long as they keep the story interesting, like prior to me playing the games, I didn't really know much of who Miles Morales is. Remember, I took forever to even watch the first movie. So all of this as someone who's not too attached to any of the lore, as long as y'all make it look good and sound good, I'm gonna enjoy Spider-Man too.
I'm interested to see who they choose because you got Venom coming, you have this Kraven the Hunter story on the side. We're also getting Lizard, and it's like Venom is alongside like Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and the rest of them. Venom is a formidable foe for Spider-Man. So for them to step away from the lore and to create this new story, I'm interested to see on how that gets developed. Like, at what point does Peter get it? And if it's going to attach to somebody else, who's going to be that person they pick out the universe that's like, oh, this is Venom. We mesh. We going to work together. Once, I'm assuming that Peter's going to get rid of it at some
Peter
point.
the permanent Venom.
Miles gonna beat it out of him. That's what that is.
They gonna, hey, that was interesting. Coming out of Summer Games Fest, learning that it wasn't going to be Eddie Brock was interesting to me. Not saying that the story is going to be garbage, but I'm excited to see how they make that work.
It's going to be a good time.
Hey, the games coming out this year is, hey, I'm telling you, Tekken 8 just need to be like, hey, we dropping in November.
Honestly, I slick don't want them to drop because of how many games coming out. Like, I got to go through my pre-order list.
No, they need to come on. They need to come on. They need to come on.
I feel you, but for me, Final Fantasy dropping this Friday, like next Friday. Assassin's Creed is in October. Spider-Man 2 is when? October as well. Mortal Kombat September. November would be a good spot, but
I apologize to your wallet, but I don't care about none of that. They need to come on. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about none of that. They need to, because they need to come on. I don't care about.
Forget all that.
They need to come on. Like.
So, are y'all gonna try Alan Wake 2?
I gotta play the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one is, I believe, on sale in your store.
You said it was horrible, and
it wasn't my cup of tea, but I'll listen to you talk about it.
I don't like, if you get back into your streaming and be like, hey, I'm streaming Alan Wake, I'll sit there with you and we can watch it together. But me
when do it
sitting
drop
there
again?
playing
it. While you playing it, I'll probably be playing like Mortal Kombat or something. I'll put you on my phone. I'll have you to the side, and I'll be playing.
I got you. Yeah, I got you on this screen right here, Ralph. I got you.
That's 2 views though for your Twitch affiliate.
Okay. I'm tired of you.
Oh man,
we'll talk about Twitch. Yeah. Twitch already got complications, but anyway, next topic.
That could get really bad.
Exactly.
A lot of, I mean,
Can you
when
block
look
it?
at it,
Block the contact photo or block
Like,
the
can
number?
you make it to where even if someone sets their own photo, you don't receive that?
so
I
I
don't
think
know.
I think